Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. Okay, we have just closed on the market for Friday, March 11th. So we have closed out the week. So we are going to look at some things on the SPY and the Qs to get ready for what could be a pretty good bounce coming up, maybe potentially next week or the week after. I do think it will be next week. So we'll look at a little bit of that and then some other things that we definitely want to be watching and game planning for. Okay, so the first thing, the SPY has kind of done what I kind of thought it would do. I really didn't think we would sell down to start the week like we did. Monday, Tuesday, we just kind of sold down, and then we opened up Wednesday from potential Russia-Ukraine peace talks, and then didn't really go anywhere. Obviously, they're still not peace over there, so. And then today we sold off pretty good. Now I was expecting a little bit more of a sell-off in the second half of this week, so we did see that into the close of today. We can probably expect more selling to come in early next week. Now the Qs, they look at a little bit lower level. They look like they are really close to breaking down their low from when Russia did invade Ukraine. And that could probably happen very quick next week. So just be mindful of that. So where we are looking at on a weekly, for the Qs, we're right on top of the 100 moving average. Okay. And then for the SPY, we are a little bit below the 50 moving average, exponential moving average, that is. But we are definitely looking to make this move down to 400. Refill this gap all the way back from April of last year. I'll zoom in a little bit here. April of last year, we had this gap that we never filled. So we'll definitely probably come back down to the 100 moving average, 400 point level, and fill that. We'll probably get a pretty good bounce. I'd definitely say we'll bounce up into at least the 420s, might go higher to the 440s. I doubt we go much higher than that if we do. So what we can expect going forward. Okay. More volatility for sure, but we need to realize that Russia and Ukraine are starting to have peace talks, or it's starting to be news headline worthy. Okay, and what we saw this past week with Wednesday, right? If we're looking at Wednesday, and we gapped up on Russia and Ukraine peace talks, and obviously nothing's really come of it. What I would expect to happen is if Russia and Ukraine do meet some kind of mutual agreement to have peace over there, I would expect the market to bounce, and probably bounce pretty hard. Okay, we might gap up again like this, or like we saw this past Tuesday and Wednesday. So I would imagine we probably do have a gap up. Now I don't know when this will happen, so don't worry about like the exact day. I'm just saying when it happens, I would expect us to gap up and really push higher, and it might even continue over into the next day. But I do not think, and it's going to depend a little bit on timing, I do not think that's going to be the bottom. That Russia and Ukraine is the bottom. Like if they figure their peace situation out, that's the bottom. I do not think that. We were selling down all of this, right? Because Russia invaded Ukraine right here at this green candle. We were selling down well before that. Do not think that that's going to be the bottom. We will get probably a really strong bounce, but don't think that that's going to be the bottom. Okay. What I would expect is we'll have a bounce. It might last for a couple days, maybe 2 or 3, and you'll see the biggest move will be that first day, obviously, and then it will flatten out and probably just go sideways, maybe for 2 days, or maybe 1 day, or the second day it'll probably just go sideways. And it might potentially sell down at the end of that second day, and then, or the third day, it might start selling down again. Okay, so that's what I would look for. Now I don't know when that'll happen, obviously, but I do think we'll start continuing to sell down this next week. If we do up and down on Monday, expect a bounce Monday. It'll push higher, not like up here, not into the like 430 area, but just if we open down into the mid 415 area, mid 415s or something like that, and we will bounce higher, That might happen all day Monday. We might open higher Tuesday, and then after that, I will look for the sell down all the way to 400 by Friday. Okay, so here's another thing. So that kind of covers a little bit of Russia and where I think the beginning of next week's going to go. Okay, I don't know if we do get that bounce early next week. Maybe we just open a little higher and we just start selling down. That's fine. What I will say, there's 3 things I'm looking for. Not 3 things, but there's 3 potential patterns I'm looking for. And I did put out this little graphic. This is horrible graphic. Sorry, this is my drawing. But this graphic here is basically what I'm expecting, okay? I put this out the morning of Ukraine getting attacked by Russia, as you can see by the chart here. But what I would be looking for is a sell down candle. If we get down during the day to 400 and we get below 400 by mid-morning or so, potentially look for that bounce. Okay, that's scenario 1. If we get down below 400 before midday, look for the bounce in the afternoon, and it'll be very strong. The second scenario is if we sell down and get probably below the morning of the Russian invasion news. We sell down, get below that, and we gap below 400. That will be a very clear close your shorts and go long. And I'm telling you, that will be a very strong move that morning. If we do number 2 pattern here, if we sell down and we close at the lows, kind of like how we closed today. We closed like right at the lows today. If we do close at that low, something like that, and we gap down, definitely look for a very strong buy. Close your shorts, look to go long. That will probably be the start of the bounce. Okay, that will probably last about a month to 2 months, maybe 3 months or 4 months. It's somewhere in there. It's kind of hard to say how long the bounce will last. I don't think it goes 4 months long, but anywhere between 1 to 3 months is probably most likely. So I would just look for that. We'll probably push probably up to 430 area, maybe 440. I doubt we get that high. But we might come actually back up to the mid 440 area, push right up to the 200 moving average on the SPY. All right, you can see that blue line. So that might make sense. So if we do get over 440 on that bounce, probably won't go much past that. And then the third scenario, if we get there this next week, is if we sell down all the way down, where potentially number 1 is if we get down to 400, maybe in the early half of the day, whatever day we get down there, we get below 400, I would look for the bounce like in scenario 1, okay? But don't play the bounce for that day. Like if it's Wednesday, don't buy Wednesday options, because scenario 3 is very likely could happen. Scenario 3 is if we sell down and close down below 400 just by selling into the close. Okay, so that would be the third one I would be looking for. But those are the 3 patterns I'm looking for potentially for this bounce. I would say this bottom, it's not going to be the bear market bottom, but it's going to be this trend bottom that we started around 480 down to 400. So I would definitely be looking for one of these 3 to happen maybe next week. But if whenever we get there, that is what I will be looking for, is one of those 3 patterns. And if we do have that sell down candle and we end at a close and we end at the low of the day, but we don't get down to 400, and it definitely if we end below this Russia morning attack of Ukraine, I would definitely be looking the next morning for an open below 400. We might open down like 2 to 3% on the market. That will be a very obvious close your shorts and go long type of a moment. And I wouldn't be long like for that week. I mean, I would go out months, because it might get choppy just right up in here, and then we might just slowly kind of creep higher out here into May. And then people at that point in time are going to say, see, we're back to the being bullish. But no, that won't be the case. We'll go back lower. We'll just push higher up into maybe the 440. We might come hit the 200 moving average. That's up here around 440, the mid 440s. But by the time we go hit it, it might actually be around 440 out here in the future. So we'll just have to adjust and see what where things line up later on. But for now, just look for those 3 scenarios as we have a potential pullback into 400. Could happen next week, could happen the last week of March. So just be on, I'll look out for that. Okay. There wasn't really much in the big stock news this week. The thing I will mention though is Amazon. Amazon did have announce a stock split yesterday morning. I believe it was yesterday morning before the market opened, which is why they were up big time on Thursday. And I would not be a buyer of this. I would absolutely be looking to sell this. And one of the big reasons why is because Google also, back on their earnings, back on the 1st of February, they also announced a stock split, and they have sold off since then. So do not be buying Amazon and looking to go Amazon long, okay? Be looking for selling opportunities. Full disclosure, I do have puts on Amazon. I'm not advertising my position, but I am saying I would not be long on Amazon. I would be long on most of the big FANG stocks that have been the big market trend pushers over the past decade. Those I would not be long, okay? Like Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, definitely not Netflix, Google, Apple, a lot of those you want to be out of. Another one that kind of was made a little bit of news this week, but it wasn't really so much company news. It had to pertain to TSLA, Tesla, and Elon Musk and his brother. They are being investigated for potentially securities fraud. It had to pertain to back in this time frame when it was up to like all-time high areas, and they were and Elon Musk was selling a lot of stock, him and his brother were selling a lot of stock. So I don't know what'll come of that. They let everybody know that they're going to sell stock. So I don't know how they're really being investigated for that. So I don't know what'll come of that, but that was another thing that kind of just had it going this week. Some other ones though is, as I was looking around the market this afternoon, I'm kind of not really digging the way NVIDIA looks, right? And AMD, they both look real bad as far as like a chart. I mean, they're back down kind of where that they bottomed about a month ago, a little bit over a month ago. So about a month and a half ago. Yeah, these things just lead me to believe that we are definitely going to see some lows come in. We'll definitely get down to 400. I hope you understood the 3 scenarios for when we get to 400 and what kind of patterns we're looking for when we get to 400, because that'll be what I'm looking for. And I will definitely be updating stuff in Discord when we get down there. I just really haven't been doing much on Discord because I've already had positions. And if you need help, just come hit me up there. It's not a problem. The link's down below, and I'll definitely help you, give you some guidance, that kind of thing. I'm not going to advertise or push anything, but there's just a lot of things going on right now that I'm not digging a lot of activity. But when we get down to 400, I'll definitely advise some people or make an announcement in Discord, especially that day, to where you definitely want to start making some moves in the market to probably get out of shorts and get into longs, that kind of stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Let me comment. Was my face pretty? If you leave me that comment, we got some problems. But hope you enjoyed it, and have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you later, Alpha Hunters.